Have you ever made a 2-bar, 4-bar, 8-bar loop, but then you get stuck on that? You can't turn it into an actual song. So what you end up with is just loads of files that are essentially just lots of loops. They sound great, but you can never make anything into a song. Well, it's no surprise that anyone in music production has come across this problem. We all make sick beats that we can't turn into actual songs. But in this video, I'm going to be dropping you the exact tips you need to implement, and you can turn any of your beats into a song and start finishing those tracks completely. So we're in Ableton, and this is what your beat is looking like. We've got just a melody and a kick. So that's our start, right? And the first thing you want to do, if that's all you've got, you need to flesh out even your 8-bar loop, right? So you want to throw a bass line in there, and you also want to flesh it out with some drums and get what I like to call the max of the track. So when you drop into the track, everything's playing, we're at the max as it were, full volume, full bell, everyone's going crazy. That's the point we want to be in with the beat, because then we work backwards from there. So let's throw in some drums and some bass. So as you can see, we've got a bass line in now with a solid bass line that I wrote at some point, and also a sub bass underneath, and we've layered with loads of drums. We've got a 909 in there on the top and lots of drums behind, still got the kick, and this is where we are now. So now we've got what I like to call a maxed out beat, right? I'm happy to drop into the track with all of this playing, yeah? I did that first step just to make sure we're all at the same point, but I get a feeling a lot of people wanting to convert beats into songs are probably at this point. So this is where it gets really important, right? So the best thing you can do when you're at the max, you've built everything. So the way to create build up and tension is to essentially just take away from that, because then you're building back up to what you already have. So you haven't got to come up with anything new to start with. So the first thing we want to do is take stuff away. Now the rules of dance music, obviously, the stuff you want to take away is low end, because when you take low end away and bring it back in the drop, people really feel it. If you take the bass and the kick away, when the drop hits and that bass and kick come back and the subwoofers are going, everyone hears it and it feels crazy. So if we look at this track, right, we go 16 bars back because that's how long I want the build up to be. And the first thing we're going to do is take away the bass and the kick drum. So we're just not going to bring them back in the track. We're going to have this as the drop point. And what we want to do to create that build up is we're going to use the drums to build into it. And in this track, we're going to use the vocal hooks to sort of build towards the drop. You can use another melody instead of vocals. Just for this example, I'm using vocals, but the same idea works. Take the melody back and take the drums back, leave the bass and the kick out. So let's start by taking away. So as you saw just there, we took stuff away and we've now created a build-up instantly. With barely any work, we've got a build-up. As you can see, I brought the 909 kit back and I removed some of the hats, I removed the claps, removed the rides because rides are really high on the top. So remove the rides, and I also removed some of the claps, and it builds over the course into the drop. So already we're sounding like we've got an actual build-up. It's nothing great, but it instantly sounds more like a song because we feel like we've got a build-up and a drop. So let's take a listen. So we've got low drums over it, but instantly it's a lot more build up. So very simply there, it didn't sound good, but instantly you can feel a journey. That's what you're going for when you're trying to get a beat to a full song. You're going for the journey. You want to create a journey. So what I'd do there is I'd probably cut this last drum beat out purely because of how the vocals are working and how I split them up. And I'd also do the same here with these two. So we've got something like that into the build up. So I've got that break in there, and I can already hear where I want that break to go later down the line. So I'm moving forward with the project, I'm getting on with it. And so straight away, if you want to give your track some serious vibes and you want to feel like you're already playing it in the club, the best things you can do is use effects, right? So simple effects at first, right? And we can also use automation to bring some flavor into the track. So I'm going to throw an endless smile on the vocal, and we're going to get some really cool echo and stuff and have that build up. So that's an effect in itself. but the one you really want to go for is risers. Risers are the bread and butter of dance music and tension. So we're going to throw a riser into this track. I've opened up a later version of the project. This is actually the breakdown from I'm Gonna Be, which is releasing April 21st, by the way, a collab I did with someone, so check that out, link will be down below. But right here, we've got a riser in right now. This is the bread and butter riser. If you're looking for a riser to use to throw in early doors to get some sound, you want the TAMK riser 22 124 BPM in E minor. This riser is elite. It's brilliant. I use it on pretty much every track. I don't always keep it, but I use it to start to, again, move forward with the project. So now we've got a much bigger sounding track. That actually caught me off guard because that's not what it sounds like in the end tune. I was trying out some vocal thing here. Yeah, that ain't the one. That ain't the one. That wasn't the one, and you can clearly hear that's why I got rid of it very quickly. But yeah, that riser makes it sound so much better. And then all we can do after that is go and add more effects like I've got here. We turn all these on, we're instantly creating a sound, we're creating a track. So now we've got a build up and a drop. And once we've got the build up and the drop, that's the bread and butter of the track. We're almost there into creating a full song. So what you need to do then is consider song structure. This all depends on sort of genre and what genre you're looking at. I'm looking at specifically dance music here. So what do we do from here? We've got our 16 bars build up, right? We've got the drop. We can easily duplicate this drop out to being 16 bars as well because it's all loops that we've created. And at that point, what do we need? What do you need before a build up? Well, before a build up, you need an intro, right? And normally in dance music, you want that to be a lot of drums, some bass, no melody, and maybe a bit of the vocal if there's some vocal going on the track, because you want to give DJs time to mix into the track. So you need lots of drums that develop over time. And after a drop, what do you want? Well, you don't want to go straight into another build-up because there'd be no downtime for the crowd. It would be straight back in again to another build-up. So we go into what you call a breakdown. And a breakdown essentially is a removal of a lot of the substance of the track. Throw in something a bit different, maybe go a little bit of a curveball, some different drums, some different sound, sort of change the direction, but keep it low key. Remove a lot of the tension. And then we come back into the build-up, another drop, and then into an outro. And the outro is kind of the opposite of the intro. One thing I like to do is almost reverse my drums. Once you get that structure, you feel like you're progressing with the track and you feel more confident to keep working and going forward, because what you don't want to do is get stuck in a pit or a rut of doing nothing and worrying whether it's wrong and all that. And as you can see right here, we've now got a full structure. This really doesn't take long to build out if you use your markers correctly and you just count your bars. Make sure your bars are even and just think about all your favorite dance tunes and listen to them. We've used the method of taking away and I've applied it to the entire track here, as you can see. So in the build-ups, we take away, what do we take away? We take away the bass, right? We take away some drums, we take away the kick. And what we do here actually is to make the first build-up less impactful than the second one, because the second one is normally the one that everyone's like, you know, the second one goes crazy. So to make the first one less impactful, we just add some of the drums back. And that is basically the fundamentals of creating a song. It's really not too difficult to get structure. I think a lot of people get lost in structure because they think about it too much. But most bars and most beats that people create, like I said at the start, you've already got the full song. Like, you've got that 8-bar, that 4-bar loop that sounds really sick and you're vibing with it. So to create the structure, all you got to do is take away from that, remove elements, because you haven't got to come up with anything new. And then once you have the full structure like this, you can start listening to it as a piece of music and then decide what needs adding. As you can see here in this project, I already added more drums in. I got fancier with the claps in the build-up. I tried to double up the claps. I added a snare roll in. So within no time, and you'll see, I've opened up the final project, the structure won't change. We've still got start and end in the same places. The actual structure doesn't change, as you can see. Look, straight away, start is there. The end is still over here. It's still the same length of the track. There's more in it now, but the structure's the same. And we build around that structure. As you can see, there's a lot more in here now. There's like a fully fleshed out track, finished. Again, more effects, strings. Strings are a great way to add tension to a track. We've got little effects in the start. Just things like that. Effects, these are all the sweeps and transitions going all the way through. We've got loads of kick styles at the bottom here. The point I'm trying to make is the structure hasn't changed. So if you can get that structure early, build it out. Don't get stuck in that beat loop of just making beats. get the structure done and you'll find that your journey to making the song sound great is so much easier. Add reverb, add delay, make everything bigger and spacier, and take it all away at the drop and crash in with that really heavy banger. And then you've got a good track, you know, and that's what it's about. And already it just sounds sick. Because the bass comes back and the kick comes back and it feels heavy and you're just like, yes, you know what I mean? So yeah, get that structure in and you'll find that the track will flow a lot better. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them. I've kind of gone off a bit tangent to the idea I had about this video, but I think I've gone in a really good direction with it. But yeah, if you want me to do more videos on structure, if I should create a video where we actually like go from a beat to a song and I do it like a 35-minute video and we go really in depth with it, let me know in the comments and I can always consider it, because if it's something I'd like to do, I wanted to keep this video a lot shorter and just touch on the fundamentals that if you can implement on your own, that's great. This is obviously a finished track and there's a lot of production tips in here that I spoke about in another video, so go and check that out. It'll be on the screen right now. Ways to improve your production and be ahead of 95% of bedroom producers instantly with those cool techniques, and I'll use a lot of them in this track here, and you can see some of them on screen now, just like automation. So go and check that out. It's on the screen right now. It's that way. Click it. I'll see you guys in another video, and good luck on your next song.